What drug, alcohol, or combination of them made you the most messed up you've ever been, and what did you do when you were that messed up? I took way too much Molly at a Cage the Elephant concert. I had a bottle of water and I kept trying to find a place to put it down between sips. I realized halfway through the show that there was a little ledge in front of and I was trying to put it down but I couldn't get it to balance. I bent down and rubbed my hand down the ledge trying to figure out what was wrong with it. Realized it was not a ledge but the head of the person in front of me. She turned around to see what I was doing and I rubbed my sweaty hand all the way down her face. Was with my now wife at the time who watched me do this and was mortified. A few years ago, back when I started taking Klonopin as a prescription, there was one time where I just drank a lot of vodka. I didn't really do anything, but my breathing got incredibly light and I couldn't move. I mostly just relied on speaking in order to make sure I was still breathing. Anyway, don't mix benzos with alcohol. Chocolate mescaline and Mad Dog 20/20ths. Spent the night in jail. 0 out of 10 on the fun scale. I took 2 big rips of DMT once and I really can't explain what was happening. I died and felt free and wasn't even human anymore. I was a part of the universe. It was a wild trip. I take whole pack of multivitamin and I shit under a bridge where is going a National Day parade. Drinking beer all afternoon and smoking pot. When the sun went down out came the coke, shrooms, and Adderall. Ended up drawing on the walls with a chocolate bar. Drank till I blacked out, then took acid, such that I didn't remember taking the acid or anything after it. The acid kept me up and making bad decisions all night, including but not limited to destroying my phone and laptop, spreading spinach dip all over my carpet, and locking my friend in a closet saying it's not safe for you out here. When I learned about the acid a week later it all made sense. One New Year's Eve I was out drinking and did a lot of coke. Then went back to someone's house and did salvia followed by DMT at about 3 in the morning already drunk and high. I can't even explain it but I literally went into space from the DMT, as in actually left my body, floated through the roof and as I was above the apartment I shot off at the speed of light into space. I went through space which felt like an eternity but also 2 minutes, I think I went into another dimension. Then I came back to Earth. 3 bottles of DM cough syrup, shroom tea, prescription amphetamines, beer, and hash. I'd also done a large amount of acid and ecstasy the night before. Out-of-body experience, watched myself float out of my physical body towards the sky, had to swim so hard to pull myself back inside my body, got back in there and was almost in tears, decided I needed to get back indoors. Had a friend walk me back to my place. Got in there and hit another level where I was basically blind because all I could see was like a black curtain with colored triangles bouncing around everywhere, like an old Windows screensaver. I completely lost any concept I'd ever existed at this point. I didn't know I was a person anymore. My friends said I was just lying on the floor staring at the ceiling wide-eyed. Weed and LSD. There was a whole 20 minutes of feeling complete sober after about 5 hours into the trip. Turns out it was the calm right before the peak and during that calm I thought the trip was over so I hit a huge hit of my dab pen. I ended up entering a space where I can perceive an entirely different timeline, a parallel reality. I think I saw some sorta entity too. It was interesting. Lots of alcohol, lots of Molly and lots of weed all night. Spent the whole day drinking with my friends. We decide to go out at night so we start drinking more and as the night goes I take Molly 5 times I guess. I don't know what form Molly usually is taken but here in Brazil my friend got us in powder. We get home around midnight and we start smoking some weed. As I sit after 2 big fat joints I just landed in the moon. Long story short, I started walking around the room like a crazy person and spent the whole night laughing, like literally 4 hours laughing non-stop. Best night ever if I'm being honest but I was a mess. Fentanyl and alcohol was always my favorite cocktail. Very deadly mix and it fucked me up. Fentanyl took me down to a deep place. I'm grateful I'm 159 days sober now. Edit, to all the people saying I'm an idiot for taking it after hearing how dangerous it is. Man, you guys don't understand addiction at all. That's not how it works. I didn't wake up one day and choose to be an addict and hurt everyone I know and stealing money and all that shit that comes with it. Yes, I first chose to take that first drug, but what the drugs did to me and all the hurt I caused to myself and others and all the stuff that comes with that, I am completely powerless over drugs. I cannot control them like other people can. When you're surviving every day to just feel normal again, you're gonna want something stronger, and that's ultimately what happened. Special K and ecstasy. That's a good combo. Molly, that definitely wasn't Molly. It lasted about 18 hours before I finally came down. I was pretty new to experimenting with drugs, so I thought that I permanently fucked my brain up and I would stay that way forever. I never touched another drug again. Alcohol and GHB, my drink got spiked, woke up in the hospital with an adult diaper on and a hospital gown. 2 Valium. Tried to handbrake, turn a forklift, danced on a conveyor belt, rode 12 miles home on my bike, woke up 2 days later. Tuesday became Thursday, don't know what happened to Wednesday. Too many hurricanes at Pat O'Brien's. Had to be carried out by friends. Meth plus weed plus cocaine plus heroin equals me laying on the floor barely conscious, shitting my pants until I woke up the next day smelling like death and spending half the day trying to get the stains out of my friend's carpet. Drugs are bad, MK. Basically anything with Xanax added to the mix. Terrible pills, nothing good can come from them, when taking more than prescribed. Oh, also Ambien. DXM is easily the most potent drug I've ever taken in terms of ripping you out of reality. Even 10 hits of LSD doesn't compare. Can only imagine what a 4th plateau DXM trip is like. Took way too much LSD while recovering from a liver injury. What should have been a nice afternoon of evening of listening to music and hanging with my cat turned into 3 days of paranoia and multiple ego deaths. Luckily I have a very good friend who texted me every half hour that I was going to be okay and to take a deep breath and relax. I once did a night of heavy drinking and went for kebabs with friends. On this point everything already starts feeling like a dream, but drunk. The next moment I remember I was on my bike flipping my said friends off at the kebabs place while cycling by. Then there is a short moment of gaining consciousness and realizing I was vomiting in an elementary school's yard. Thankfully it was like 6 in the morning, so no kids yet. Then the blackout happened. I wake up to passive-aggressive texts of my girlfriend, now wife, about drunk sleeping naked on the couch with a magazine as blanket, and if I ever feel the need to piss in the kitchen again at least clean it up myself, and while I clean your piss you could at least not get mad at me for waking you. I spent the rest of the day in foetus position in the shower sucking on a tangerine. And she still married me. I was in Amsterdam a few years ago. I am not much of a drinker, so a few beers, or more, with some Dutch friends, with a higher ABV than the usual American stuff I drink, Coors Light, etc., and I was done and decided to get some air. I walked by a store called a Smart Shop where they sold mushrooms. In my inebriated state I said what the hell and got some. The guy told me to try 1/4 the package first, but I felt kind of like a loser walking around with a package of mushrooms, so I ate them all at once. That was a mistake, I should have purchased some Smarts instead. What I did was enjoyed the ride, there wasn't much else I could do. It was an interesting experience but not one I would generally endorse. Cheap tequila, I remember doing 10 shots in rapid succession. Later on, as I tried to sober up a bit, I opened my dorm room window, 8th floor, no screen, and stuck the top half of my naked self out the window for some fresh air. I was watching people walking by down below, but they weren't people, they were just yellow shapes. No repercussions, I was lucky. Didn't fall out the window. I was drinking vodka, someone came through with a spliff, joint, smoked it drunkly, and 15 minutes later I was spinning faster than a turbine and threw up. Don't drink then smoke, smoke then drink. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and subscribe if you are interested in more Reddit content. See you in next video.